Oh yeah, I heard all the stories.
Yeah, there's only one sibling remaining. That's my
How long? Yeah, we were on the call. I was 15 years. Wow, I met her when I was 15. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Really?
That's the biggest thing.
This is just. I went on a drive.
You can't have that dumpster on the lawn. Nope, it's gotta be on the driveway. She's like, nope, it's gotta be on the driveway.
Yeah, and I don't know that.
Not on the driveway. Open windows. Very difficult. Sorry, yeah. He used to walk the beat. His career started with my father just started.
Well, that is the SRO.
Oh, yeah.
Please stand for the pledge. We'll have Jeff lead us tonight.
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. Let's go right down the agenda here. We're going to hold off on the minutes from last meeting. We're going to do that. We'll approve those next meeting. All right. First item up, number 2, EMS trooper sighting bids discussion. And Jeff, do you want to take lead on this? And tell us kind of
I'm looking for the bid in here. Is it in the packet?
No.
It is not. I'm gonna need it to. It was, no.
We can swing back to there.
Okay, we'll just go ahead.
Yep, move to the next thing so we get that.
Yes. Okay, that was quick. Next, senior property tax exemption, income limit update, and we're gonna have Karen. Tell us what's going on with this.
Okay, I'm here to talk about the senior citizen exemption. This is an exemption for seniors on limited incomes. All municipalities offer it, the town, county, school, and the village. So this is an exemption on top of the enhanced star, just so you know. The enhanced star is a state exemption, this is a local exemption. Eric, can you put the scale up? The one with all the scale. I have a handout that I give the seniors, right here. So up in the left-hand corner is our current sliding scale. This sliding scale has not been updated in 19 years. So I think we're due for an update. And also the state just passed a couple years ago, the maximum income that you can make to get 50% off that you can adopt is 29,000, and back 19 years ago, we adopted 20,000, so we didn't adopt the maximum. So now, you can make up to 50,000 to get 50% off. It doesn't mean you have to adopt that scale, you can create your own. On the right-hand side, that's what the county just adopted, their maximum is 33,000. Do you see 50% off? There's also a couple new changes to how we calculate income. Before, we could not count IRA distributions. Now they're making it a local option that we can count IRA. So we used to have to minus out IRA distributions out of the adjusted gross income. So, there's a big controversy, so now they're giving us a choice. I don't know if you want my opinion on it, but my opinion is I think it's fair to count all the income right across the board, because I do have seniors that just have Social Security, and then we have seniors with twice the income, but we don't count IRAs, so they're getting 50% off, where the senior that needs it is not getting anything. So I think it's fair to just count everything. There's a couple other options. You can opt to not count Social Security. I don't know why they give that choice. And minus medical, which I'm not in agreement with that. So those are your options, along with adopting a new sliding scale. So I tried to put together the fiscal impact. It's really difficult. But what I did do is we have about 130 seniors on the exemption now. Doesn't mean they're getting 50% off, some are getting 5, 10. So if I call everyone at 50% off, that would be the estimated impact right there. It would go from $11,669 to $16,269.
Or 11 to 16 or 11 to 27?
Oh, I'm sorry, 1127, thank you for correcting me on that. 16,000 was the increase, yes.
So we tax benefit to the.
Worst case scenario, if we, because we're gonna add new people, that's if we do, we're gonna add some new seniors to this if we do increase the level. So worst case scenario, you could double the 16,000. Eric can probably speak to how much of an impact that would be. So it's up to the town board to adopt a sliding scale. You have a few choices. You can leave it where it's at now. You can go along with what the county's move that they just adopted, which they are not counting IRAs. You can create your own or go with the maximum. So those are the choices. And this is also for people who are disabled, 100% disabled, and unlimited incomes. We do not offer it to disabled property owners. The school does. We never adopted it, so that's also a choice for you. Just to put it out there. So we're just looking to update this. It has been a while.
Yeah, this is just for the town.
Just for the town
Not the
portion.
school,
So,
not the village.
no. So this will be up the town portion of the town and county.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the village said that they would, jump on whatever one we chose, they would also
Yeah.
choose that.
Yeah, the village is willing to go along.
The latest time that the town board, because this has to be done by a local law, and the latest it has to be adopted by to be effective for the upcoming.
So if this was adopted by March 1st taxable status date, then it would go into effect on the January 2027
Right.
tax
Okay.
bill. So it
Just
won't
wanna
even
make sure
hit,
everything's
I'll
right.
collect the income now, but it won't hit until the
They
January.
got a little bit of time, but
Right.
not a heck of a lot of time.
Right.
It's December now.
I'm
March,
collecting.
March, you might as well say January and February, and then it'll
Correct.
be too late after March. But I-
Yeah, so the sooner the better, because I am collecting exemptions now. I send out the renewals. I send out renewals to all the seniors every year. They have to come in every year and pay their income. They bring in their income tax. If they do not file income tax, they have to fill out a sheet and they bring in all.
You guys would have to, if you decide to do this, whatever version it is, you have to let me know, as soon as you can, each time. And I prepare the local law public hearing notice, and I work with you to get all that stuff ready to go.
What do you recommend again?
I came from Onondaga County. On Onondaga County adopted the maximum, and then they did, decide to count IRAs, and also the town that I came from, Cicero, but, a lot of the trend is to count IRAs with all the towns now. Our impact was, we went with the maximum, and, we probably doubled our, seniors, and 400, 800, almost 1,000 seniors with that. Now, here, we only have 130. But that's dwindled down over the years because it's been 19 years, and most social securities are over 20,000, so
Right.
it's been a long time, so you know. So,
Karen, help me understand the mechanism. We approve this, 100 seniors take it. Their assessment gets reduced on their tax bill, so the tax levy will still go out based on a lower assessment on those homeowners and then the rest of them. So there is no cost to the town as far as Eric's budget goes, correct?
well, yeah, the other taxpayers
Shift-
take it,
shift-
shifts the
shift
burden
the
to the
burden.
other
Well,
taxpayers.
But the town is not gonna experience it.
Yeah,
So basically, it does affect the school taxes too then, if the assessment's lower.
it will not, it will only be lowered on the town portion.
Okay,
So if the school adopts it, it'll come off the school.
okay, thank you.
And then when they take your tax levy and divide it by your tax assessment,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter at that point. That's what people are paying, so
I
it's
understand.
not gonna affect. That's what I wanna make sure, is that our income levels or our tax levies that go out that we need to operate didn't get affected because we approved it. On the other hand, I'd like to help seniors. I just was curious.
Yeah,
as
I
to-
agree 100%.
Yeah, I just wanna see how
And
it's
the
doing.
disabled.
Yeah, I don't disagree with it. I'm curious to see how much of an impact.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I heard you say that Cicero doubled. I don't know what that does to the rest of the residents. I'm just trying to get a feel for it and see if it's, it'll be a shock if everyone else is carrying a much bigger burden. I don't think it'll be that bad.
I guess the impact, I guess if we doubled it, we could take the 27 and add, right? So is that a huge impact, 30,000?
Go to 50
Yeah.
instead of-
That's assuming that costs stay the same. We're always trying to shave costs year to year, and it's a minimal amount, and,
Yeah.
we wanna help where we can help. We wanna
Just
help
didn't
the
want to
seniors.
the school ended up with a situation where Nation Lands came out in the middle of a year and they lost those tax streams during that one particular year. Just making sure this mechanism did not cause us any of that type of situation. And what you're saying is not.
It won't hit till January 2027.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be plenty of time.
So you guys, what you have to figure out is what level, if you wanna do it, and then if so, what do you wanna do?
Yep.
And then you help them with the
Choose a
choices.
level and then adopt whether you want to include IRA. Yep, so.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, so we can get it rolling.
Do the max, and you can include IRA.
That's
I would
it.
be. I think include all income.
Include IRAs,
Yeah, I would,
IRA, go to the max of 50,000, but include all income.
max,
correct.
out.
That's to get
Max it
50% off. So if you're a little bit higher, if you're at the 58,000, yeah, then you get 5%.
Or whatever, yeah, that'd be the 50, yeah. So you go down in increments of, they get here.
$1,000, I think it is.
Okay, so we're not down to as low as like 42,000 or something like that. There's 10, probably was 2, 4, 6, 8, but I'm like 41,000.
So
That's better than the county.
if you can put up that other sheet, it shows the proposed next, you know, the one that shows
Oh.
what we have now versus the proposed maximum. So there's our scale now to the left, and to the right would be the proposed. So if you make 58,000, you get 5% off.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so so 50,000.
So it's 1,000, so it's 8 levels, so that's not bad, yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, yeah.
And it was, this exemption was created to help seniors on limited income just stay in their homes. Like,
They need that.
when you become a widow, you lose half your income, but your bills are still the same. So that's what it really was meant for.
Okay with that.
Do you want to put a maximum limit on it? Well, they have a maximum limit on it of, you couldn't put up 3,000 or more than that. I'm just asking.
What do you, maximum income?
A maximum exemption, is that what we're talking
I
about?
think the statute is gonna,
The statute will take care of that.
those are the parameters in this.
Right.
How do we include disabled? Is that?
We end up doing that with a separate local law.
Correct. So, yeah, so if you look at the counties on the other, they went with 33,000, but they don't count IRAs, so it's kind of probably the same.
Yep.
But I think it's more fair to count the IRAs,
I think it is.
because then the people who really need it get it more than the others don't.
So both senior and, are you saying?
100% disabled?
Yeah, and the disabled.
And you're saying include the IRA?
They have to be 100% disabled,
Right, statute controls that.
correct.
You
It's
can't-
total
you can't change
household
that.
income too. So if you're a disabled, if you're disabled and you're married and you have a spouse and they have a job, most likely you're not gonna qualify. It'll just single and disabled.
It's gonna help people that really need it.
Right, staying. There's a lot of them that stay on this.
So you're saying you want me to go ahead and prepare a local law for one of the upcoming meetings? Is that what the board wants to do?
Yes.
Okay, we'll introduce the local law, we'll set a public hearing, we'll have a public hearing, and then you'll vote it presumably into law, your local law. You'll have it ready to go in advance of the March 1st.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very helpful, thank you.
Okay, now I'm
Can we go back?
Yeah.
Right, you're up. Back to Jeff.
All right, I have my hands back on the bid. So everyone recalls, we went out to bid for the siding project here at the Trooper EMS building. We received one bid that came in on the 19th for 200 and from EIF Construction out of Fulton for 221. So the question is, 221, 536. I had the opportunity to visit with a couple of the other people that were looking at this bid. Both of them said, we just got too busy, we don't have but the numbers about what they were gonna be in, so I felt comfortable that the number's about right. But be clear, we do not have to accept this. It says we have 45 days to accept any or all. I'm just not sure where you're gonna go. The construction business right now, if you can find somebody, has been kind of a tough business. So I wanted to see where the board might go on it. Are we going to notify EIF that we're willing to move forward on this? Or we're gonna do something different, kick that can down the road?
I personally would like to hold off. I don't know the process, but I wish we had gotten more than one bid.
Me too.
And I got, you guys put a ton of effort into it, so I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I just, now we're into, obviously, we're heading to winter, so it's not going anywhere right now.
Well, here's what I'll tell you though, this is the timing, this is probably as good as it's going to get here. We're gonna start heading into spring, and we're gonna ask for another bid, and everybody else is gonna be all bidding. I've been through these public projects enough to know this was the right time to bid. Unfortunately, the bid climate is not good. And Dave's involved in this industry, so I wanna see if if we're willing to pull the trigger on it, or we're just gonna take our lumps and keep moving forward. And
Either way though, they have to do something because the building's leaking more than wide. It's only creating more damage. And paint's not, I don't know if you saw the pictures, but sheet rock's all, sheet rock's.
That's the issue too, I don't have any pictures.
So they're not very pretty.
And not saying not to do it, just because.
And John, legally, we're fine, we're well within our rights.
The spec said that you don't have to accept any, you can rebid. The other thing, and I don't remember if you did this, you've been out there, you tried it, but to your point, if you wanted to target particular contractors, you may reach out directly and then show them that you're rebidding it, either with this scope or a different scope, that's another question for you, and set it back out for another roll, but to your point, you probably wanna get something back sooner rather than later.
I was surprised, and the people I talked to, they're just so busy and they just didn't want money with it.
And we put in there that they had till June to do it, so it's not like they had to do it. June first, so we gave them time, it's not like it had to be done over the winter.
Just frustrates me too that the, you know, that amount of money can't be kept whole. We didn't have any local bids.
I was very disappointed at our local people. I just thought they would put a number in. But again, they're so busy, if they don't think they're gonna get it, they're not gonna even bid on it. So, after one of them heard the number, he goes, oh yeah, okay. He does, they don't care. They really are, the good ones especially are busy, Gary. I hope these guys are good, they are performing the way the references and
Good, I just sent, just so you guys can look at it, especially, again, we don't have to make a decision now.
No, we have 45 days.
45 days.
So we could say we're gonna do it if we, I want you, that's why I wanna get this conversation going.
I have another question too. in
Yeah.
regard to the money, that was brought up, the account that's coming out of. Don't we have to do something like with, public?
No, Eric, I don't think that was in a,
That's in a building
I don't know, I don't know that one was in a building, a reserve fund that required a permissive referendum to release it. We'll have to take a look.
I have to find that, paperwork,
Yeah.
the write-up for it, but it was the, building, I call it building.
All like that, we have to do that first.
But there are certain rules if you create a true reserve fund under the law. There's also ideas where you just sort of cordoned off money in your mind that we're gonna use it for this or whatever it is. That we have to look back. I honestly don't remember us doing it that way when that was created. I don't remember doing it subject to permissive referendum. I remember did a resolution, but I don't know if the resolution ever, saw a vote.
Yeah.
I can coordinate.
Yeah.
But normally you're right there, if it's created that way, you create a reserve fund by doing a permissive referendum at time of creation, or if you don't, to take it out, you have to do a permissive referendum, one way or the other. If you're creating a true reserve fund, you can't touch this unless you have a referendum permissively. At the beginning or the end, there's also the idea that you have looked at your money, you said, we're gonna make sure we have this for a project we have coming up, you don't formally handcuff it to that process.
As I recall, John, but again, we need to do the research. It was going to require a permissive referendum to take the money and put it back.
Yeah, I just wanna see if that really,
Let's verify
I wanna
that
see if that ever happened at a meeting. It's done.
Yeah. Okay.
But I remember lots of discussions.
Yeah.
And a bunch.
We've had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the pictures and give me in now. I think they're taking a little while to go through, so it's a little back. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, moving along, propane and diesel bid, openings, December 17th, 2025. Andy, would you like to?
The same thing we do every year. Every year we bid diesel, propane. We just put that out to bid and have it open for the next week. For the 2026 year.
Well, you guys usually do a motion to do it.
Okay.
So moved.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All set. Okay. Next, we have Ken from Barton Judas, request authorization for added escrow for Harbor Town Phase 2 and Northridge Section 5. Welcome, Ken. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. So those that attended or watched last night's planning board meeting, both of these projects, the Northridge Section 5 and Harbortown Phase 2, developers were here. Northtown Construction Services, which we've been working on with Highway Superintendent Musa, is substantially complete through binder, drainage, and whatnot. we are requesting an additional $2,500 in escrow monies to cover our services since November 15th, and remaining services are basically going to be punch list inspection and project closeout, and then paying for these last couple weeks of services. So that's the first one for 2,500. Just group these two together. Spent quite a bit of time last night discussing Harbor Town Phase 2 and some changes that were made on site. Past couple weeks, quite a bit has happened. They've completed sub-base placement, binder cores, retaining wall placement, guide rails, water's been in, and so on. So we've expended quite a bit of time, not only inspecting that work with Andy, but also wrestling with and reviewing modifications and spending some time planning board last night. So we are, and there's substantial completion inspection that needs to be done here, reviewing some calculations on the retaining wall, as well as taking a look at the security estimate, the developers establishing the developers security model. So we are requesting an additional $10,000 to cover services over the past 2 weeks, where we've expended roughly about 85% of the original escrow, and that would balance to cover services that we have left, and if anything's unused, we either hold it to the spring, or punch list, follow-up stuff, or turn it to the audit.
North Ridge, is he to the point where it's overrun at this point, or no?
It's close. It's real close.
So basically that's punch list, and what else with that? How would it
Oh, let's see, punch list and the securities estimate that we put together.
Oh, part of the securities estimate, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And with that, we ran into some extra time, overseeing stone placement on the hammerhead, paving of the hammerhead, delays with weather, and so on. So we saw some delays on our town site as well.
How much was Northridge original?
8,000.
I understand the Harbor Town one, Northridge one, though, it just seems awful expensive. But I wasn't there every day, but I did drive through there a lot. And I heard rumblings of 3 engineers being there one day. And I do these projects all the time, and I don't know that I've ever seen 3 engineers inspecting a road like that. So I just have to question it for my own good.
Yeah, all the services they were describing, comments that were attached to the invoices, let us see those, assuming they're there. Again, I think the day you're referring to might have been when Bill was there, and Pitts was there, and Chuck came out because it was not a paved hammerhead. What the stone for a hammerhead, we worked with Andy, and inspect the hammerhead when it went in, and so on. So again, we were there for a reason. Assisting Andy, working out for the town's best interest. So I guess I'll defer to Andy as to the value and the level of service that we provided today.
Well, I'm extremely happy with everything. I did look at the 2,500 and thought that Tom was probably gonna have a meltdown. And, in what part of that extra, I felt like the hammerhead we kind of added. We have let them get away with stone trim around the floor. I do feel that the asphalt is a much better solution, especially for the school buses. So, does the highway have any part of that 2,500 responsibility? Because we did add a few things without Peter Tom's knowledge. So, I'm not afraid to contribute a little bit of that inspection.
Well, I'm not asking Tom, I didn't talk to Tom, and usually he'll call me with a meltdown. He did not. I was caught off guard when there was 3 out there, and then we went through the 8,000. I thought it was a short road. I didn't realize there was there was that much time put into it. So maybe there was.
Well,
But I had to ask with Andy here and you here.
well, there was also, they tried to pave in the pouring rain, so that day a crew went out there, that was, we stopped them, we let them put the 2 loads down, so that became another day, and another day, so there were some add-on days because of weather, which isn't Kent's fault, Keno's fault either, and they were trying to push the limit on that as well, so.
And I do think you guys do a good job. I'm not saying you don't.
Undergrange went in, existing drainage down below need to be modified, so again, we're not by any means, my opinion, overcharging the project.
I was happy how smooth it went, and we got Tom Layden out here last night. So, and also, putting together the securities is on top of that 8,000, which there's a lot to securities under that, on what we're gonna be holding for the final top course. So that's why I was asking what the initial was as well.
The security funds,
The other project.
Have you watched the video?
No, no, I didn't, but, I'm aware there's a lot of discrepancies and issues are solved.
Well, they've been resolved, and throughout the course, there was quite a bit of time unnecessarily invested in resolving them, and there's still some unresolved issues in the form of calculations and final acceptance of the wall was modified. The town's it's kind of we had the developer and his contractor here last night. For extensive conversation on the timeline that we put together with the board. And we followed up with the developer's geotechnical engineer on calculations on the wall. There's probably some modifications that need to be made to the agreements with the developer, cover the modifications that were made. And we've got to revisit the securities estimate to make sure the modifications cover that.
It's frustrating because we put some of that stuff in place within the very meetings, so all you have to do is follow what's accepted now and we,
I think there was by the time you left last night, there was an understanding with the board, with the developer, and his contractor as to the process going forward, and I'm fairly hopeful that all that stuff will be submitted, reviewed, and that the planning board's gonna bless everything at an upcoming meeting. And Ken's right, we'll have to do some agreements, add language to, we approved a project by way of the drawings, and now those drawings, many of them are inapplicable to what the board approved, so we'll have to recapture those and do the resolution, so that at least we have a record in case there's a dispute or how we want to make sure we have the right documents, which we will. That'll be the next step. So I think everybody walked out, if you want to make this a path forward.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, guys.
We got both.
I just want to add that I am very grateful for those services with Deanna, because we've come a long ways from where we were as far as feeling good about things
We ran into problems later.
Right.
That
Correct.
cost of the town.
Yes. So it's been night and day difference, and it's really amazing.
Andy, after this one goes back to Poolsbrook,
I don't know if we'll ever go back there.
you got your back someday.
He's got a lot of work to do before we're there.
Thanks.
So now you guys got to vote on these two proposals for Ken's services he has as a contract.
are we combining them?
I do the separate votes. Set was two different. You want to do Harbor Town first?
Harbor Town first, yep.
Second.
Jeff, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Next on the, Northridge,
Second.
Jeff, discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
right along. John, resolutions for the water and
Right.
grant.
Right, so, we prepared two resolutions, which were requested to advance the, EFC's engineering planning grant process as it relates to Lake Fork Road. This authorizes, a 20% local match, which turns out to be $10,000. I don't know if you know what all this is. I think I worked with Chris on some of this. So, you have that in your packet. And we're looking for, there's two resolutions that the grant program requires. It was that, the match, and then the program itself. So I put together the two resolutions, so you just have to adopt these and then you can move forward with trying to obtain that money.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
At the end, second.
Andy, you have those, right? Okay, again, moving right along. RIC Energy. Next.
Can I grab one?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Glenn McKay. I'm a development manager at RIC Energy. To be clear, we have a pair of projects, proposed community solar projects in the town. So we've done preliminary engineering, preliminary development, engineering with National Grid Utility, and made interconnection deposits. But we hit a bit of a stumbling block with the solar law. So specifically, tonight we're here to discuss a provision in the solar law, referred to as the Made in America requirement, and offer some of the challenges it presents to developers, suppliers, and construction contractors. Firstly, thank you for letting us even discuss this and have a conversation. It's important, we appreciated that you hear us out. I'll read the provision as it's written in the law. All solar farms shall be required to utilize solar panels, components, and materials made and manufactured in the United States of America. Should be no problem. The challenge, as it came as a bit of a surprise, is if I ask 10 different people at my company, engineers, construction experts, suppliers, what that means, I get 10 different answers. It can mean, well, you need to use solar panels and as many materials as you can. And then people start to sway on their response, and maybe that means 100.0 nut bolt fuse circuit board, everything. So rather than assume, we asked the town, and appreciate the discussion again. The board confirmed it is generally intended to mean all parts and materials involved, and that they must be produced in the United States. To be clear, RIC is completely full for domestic manufacturing. As a rule of thumb, when you use contractors that live nearby, parts that come from domestic sources, the warranty is better, the service is better, the quality is better. However, it turns out, and this report will demonstrate, it's nearly impossible to guarantee 100.0% of all parts and materials in a solar farm can be sourced domestically. So at first we provided a letter to the town at a high level, outlined the major components that make up a solar farm and that they can't be sourced entirely domestically. Understandably, just taking our word for that is not enough. So we were asked to do some research and specify and prove that what we can and cannot accomplish. So I began contacting U.S. manufacturers of all the components we typically issue purchase orders for, and you'll see them in the report. 22 separate manufacturers I contacted that are US-based, US manufacturers, label their equipment as made in the US, and the conclusion became quite clear. Despite perhaps the parts being labeled as made in the US, not one manufacturer could guarantee 100% of materials or subcomponents or parts within can be sourced domestically. Even I was surprised with that. I thought someone could. Turns out it's quite a challenge in today's environment. It did take a little while to get responses. Understandably, most of these manufacturers weren't eager to jump at the opportunity to disclose their recipe that makes up their supply chain, but within the report you'll see a number of responses from US manufacturers. Instead of just compiling emails, I thought it might be worthwhile to break out the major components that make up a solar farm and provide some data sheets and some of the statements from the manufacturers that confirm what degree or what level they can claim or guarantee. So in the back section there's some appendices with data sheets. You'll very clearly see made in USA domestic content 100%, and with that data sheet you'll see a highlighted statement from the manufacturer that says what can they actually accomplish. Often it's a range of 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% is one of the highest. So, I'm used to solar farm technology, pretty well assembled them, touched all the parts, ordered all the parts, and I couldn't answer your question clearly up front, so this was educational for me as well. I hope it is for you too. So, what do we do? And why potentially amend the law? Not just for us, but basically not any single developer can comply. So whether it's us or another applicant, they may not flag it up front, but at some point they'll hit potentially an expensive delay when they're working through financing with their bank, and there's a team of experts rolling through the documentation. They're likely to hit this, and a special use permit may be granted, and they'll come back to the town and say, we need your help to fix this. So that's one reason we're here, is that foresight. Talk about it today rather than, if we're so lucky one day, getting a project approved, coming back when the pressure's on, purchase orders are set, financing is set, and we hit this definition that we can't seem to get around. The other thought is, how will the town measure compliance? Setbacks are easy, heights are easy, tape measure. How do you measure it? We're used to meeting compliance via measurement. Based on conversations with these suppliers, it can be a paperwork nightmare. They're consistently being questioned about how deep can they go into their supply chain and prove domestic content. So much so that I've spoken to one specific tracker manufacturer about steel, and they're being questioned on their domestic content statement because the steel they used, which is smelted, may have come from a car that was made overseas. So those are some of the challenges with proving compliance. So that's pretty well the reason why I appreciate talking about it now and potentially coming up with a solution, and also understanding what's the background for this. I've made some assumptions in the report. Safety is the first section, that's always number one. Having domestically sourced equipment probably increases safety, but there's a table in there that explains UL listing and certifications and ensuring safety. And then the report will go on to explain the major components and who the top manufacturers are and some statements from them. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one real quick question. One of the highlighted sections says, in one of their responses was, we cannot guarantee every subcomponent is sourced domestically. We can get the certification for made in America.
Yes.
So obviously, you can get a certification.
Yes.
Is that a standard that we should be considering? A certification of made in America instead of 100% of the components?
I believe so. That's the trend I'm seeing from these manufacturers, is some form of statement or certification that they can claim domestic manufacturing. But my intent with this is not to say we don't want to or we can't. Here's the reality. Made in the US, you can provide a certification, but one of the conversations earlier, and I fully understand and respect it, is if we open a control panel and find a label that says fuse made in Taiwan, the whole project's not compliant. So that's our concern. It may seem silly, but again, I'd rather talk about it now than purchase orders are ready to go, we're underway, and we hit a compliance hurdle. And then the noise wave starts.
Okay, tell everybody the exact location of this solar farm.
Two proposed both on Lakeport Road. And I know solar farm is a contentious topic right now. Visibility and impacts to neighborhoods. These sites will be invisible, but prefer not to focus. As good as the sites they are, every developer will say that it's invisible. The focus I want to maintain is on this issue because it helps other developers too. They may one day have the perfect site as the law is written, and they'll hit a roadblock, and then the heat is on the town as well to help clean it up. Again, it seems nitpicky, it seems silly that we can't just move past this, but we've learned the hard way if we don't acknowledge some of these questions early on, then
the request, if I may, the request has been, since these folks have shown up, is please consider adopting an amendment to solar law that runs along the lines of, they have some suggested language in here, but I don't think you're wed to this exact language versus something that can help the project move in a positive direction, which would be something, which would be a job for this board to look at what they proposed or something close to it, and then as you guys know, it requires an amendment to the current local law, and it's, that could take 2 months or longer, but it's a minimum of 2 meetings once we figure out the language that they want to go. Absolutely. That's what you're being asked to reconsider because this went to Larry, and Larry gave his opinion on what that language meant, and he wasn't comfortable using what he thinks it is. It says this, and that's what it is. It says Native American. Basically. Larry, here.
No. You'll find a conclusion underlined at the back, which came slowly but very evident to me, is supporting domestic manufacturing. If we maintain or treat this law as 100.0%, it actually hurts domestic manufacturing because we can't issue any purchase orders to people. If that makes sense.
Question?
I've got one question.
Sure.
Is this gonna be, is this on both sides of Pilot Road? Or Lake Park Road, sorry.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's on the south side.
It's on the south side.
Yeah, I believe it's not permitted on the north side.
Another question these guys might wanna ask about, but were these, were there battery?
Yeah, is there
battery storage?
There's
things
no
that
battery
would
storage?
work?
Nothing.
Like in your already.
I knew that's what you're gonna ask. But again, just so everybody's clear, what they're asking you is what this change would apply to every application, whether it includes batteries or not, but I think we adopted it. I've done this so many places all the time to represent. I think you guys adopted a no battery storage law. So you're not supposed to be able to have battery storage systems in the town associated with things. So yours is compliant with what you're not.
I did hear a rumor. Is there supposed to be another one going on the north side that's gonna be run by the state?
I don't know that.
Okay. I do think that the state wants a battery.
Well, yeah, they'll take a different position.
Yeah, I think Tom would know, but I think that the state ran one isn't funded.
Okay, you're talking, so now you're talking about, projects that are very large, so 20 megawatt, 25 megawatts and larger,
Yeah.
that are governed by the state of New York's permitting, office, ORES. Those are governed entirely differently. So what these folks are doing are the smaller ones, 5 and 10 megawatt in general. And they have to be within the constraints of the local law that the town adopted. Well, the other ones, if they're the 25 and larger, then the Office of Renewable Energy, the state oversees the entire thing. The towns can have input, but the state ultimately makes the final decision. And there was one actually on New Boston Road. You guys remember this? Or you might have. There was one on New Boston Road that was going to be, I want to say, close to 100 megawatts. And someone said, was it you, Eric, said it's not on the, who said, oh, it was Art. It's no longer on the list. Art, today or yesterday. Okay, so that's interesting to me. I didn't realize it was off the list, so who knows?
Okay, thank you.
So the question here is, will you guys, they're asking, will you please consider amending your law? And they've given you a bunch of information to consider making that decision.
That's on 18 and 19, page 18 and 19. Okay.
You highlighted everything visually. Makes it easy to read.
Yeah, visuals help. Visuals sometimes speak without the words, still awkward.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Okay, again, moving right along again. Eric, do we have any budget lines?
No, I'll have those minutes.
Okay, that's fine. And I did see one fire application. From Chittenango. Well, the name is David Thomas, and I guess we're looking for a motion to have him in the fire department in Chittenango.
I think I can find these.
I'll make the motion.
Great.
Second.
Way to go, Chad. It was good.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, welcome to David Thomas, to Chittenango Volunteer Fire Department.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the point in time where people want to, if they have a comment to make or something, we give you 3 minutes to go to the mic and, like open mic thing. So, is there anybody who would like to speak on something? Your name, please? Yeah, all right, come up to the mic, tell us, and then we'll give you your questions.
Art Lilio, Waterbury Road, in the last night's planning meeting, if you haven't seen it, I strongly suggest because it's the best example of why we have B&L overseeing, assisting with overseeing these projects. An excellent job being done there, and I appreciate you guys approving the additional amounts that he wants to come up with, because it's really clear by the end of that meeting why he's there. Thank you.
Thank you, Art.
Hey, Art, while you're up there, just so you know, everybody thinks that we're working on the comprehensive plan. Excellent job. Came down from Madison County, things up with the secretary of schools.
Yeah. Thank you. Art, thanks for all you do, too. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Or you can go first, ladies, before John.
Just real quick, the last meeting we discussed, updating the Legion contract, and I wondered if anything has been set up meeting-wise for that. I've emailed Tom.
To meet with Joe and John Laney. I'll go to her. Just if somebody sends me dates, I can to go over that contract. Contract with the Legion.
Oh, yes, yes.
To meet with the lawyers. So, you're looking at me, do you want me to do it, or are you doing it, or?
We can do it together.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
So we'll communicate via email.
Tom and I will make sure it happens now in conjunction with Mr. Lane.
We submitted for our AFC engineering grant. We got a kickback because we needed 2 resolutions. And those resolutions were provided by Mr. Lane's office. I thought they were gonna be on the agenda. Is there a reason why they're not on the agenda?
We did them. We did them.
You did them?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Did I miss it?
You fixed it.
They weren't on the agenda, were they?
Well, they read a little differently, Andy, I think.
All right.
Resolutions, water, infrastructure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that
we
one.
got, we
Okay.
voted
All right.
on
Sorry. I was
Dave
ignorant.
and Dan.
Thank you. Just want to make sure we're moving forward.
Andy, we voted aye.
Yes, all right.
Sorry. All right.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to speak? Yes, sir?
Colin.
Colin, come up to the mic, please.
I've been here for a few meetings before, and about this Larry Balton, he built the house, a pole barn right next to my house, because I think it has completed the wet settlement property on the lake. You can't see the lake, and it's nothing but a big round wall now. And he did it illegally, I know that. And I've been in contact with Steve Green about this, and I just want to know what's going to be done about it. I mean, there's no paperwork that says about this barn at all. The drainage, you never put any drainage in. My backyard is underwater when it rains. Now spring's gonna come, and when it gets here, it'll be nothing but a mud mess. And I've got problems with that.
Okay, we, to be honest with you, we are looking into it.
All right, I don't know how he gets away with doing stuff illegal like this.
Yep.
Who he is.
Yeah, we're looking into it, so, okay, I appreciate your comment.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Yes, sir. Right up to the mic.
Just like to invite everybody to Bridgeport Saturday night. Christmas tree, community tree lighting ceremony starts about 4:45. Be over with by 5:30. Everybody in the community is invited, and there'll be a little fireworks about 5:30. So you're all invited. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Same as the village.
You want me to send you with the village?
Competition.
Competition.
Which tree is big?
Our show will be better than
All right.
just a little friendly rivalry. You know?
The size of the trees.
They got a bigger tree, but we got more fireworks.
All right.
It's very well attended.
We've got a smaller Santa, we use an Oscar.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to? Hearing none, I'd like a motion to go into executive session for advice of counsel. I'll make the motion.
Second.
We are now in executive session. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Anybody else? Get out.
I made it, Jeff seconded.
Yeah.
All right, see you Saturday. Not before. Understood.
Last meeting was weird. We don't
Maybe any meeting, board meeting.
I don't know how you walk it.
What?